How we doing there today, neighbors? Ian with eTrailer here. Today we're going to be looking at the ETBC7L on our 2022 Toyota Sienna. Let's get into a couple features and then that install. More than likely you're going to be looking at this ETBC7L kit because you've already got your 4-way and you want the other abilities that the 7-way is going to give you to include that reverse option, and then of course your 12-volt power to your accessory or trailer. So this ETBC7L kit is going to be the great easy way to be able to hook that up on your Sienna and be able to tow what you need to. Now the great feature of this is that we still have the option for a 4-way connector. That way we don't have to have an adapter between if we've got multiple trailers or accessories that we're going to be using on our van. And the install for this kit is really not that bad on the Sienna. The only thing we're going to have to do really that invasive is come through a grommet on the floor just here on the driver's side. I'm going to walk you through the entire process of putting this on, but if you watch the video and happen to think this isn't something I want to try to tackle, check out our dealer locator on the website. That'll help you find a trained professional that can get that thrown on there for you. But if not, and you're one of those DIYers, let's go ahead and hop into that install. Now to be able to hook up this ETBC7L, we will have to have our 4-way already connected. Lucky for us, this neighbor's already got that, so we won't have to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and come over to our battery box here on the passenger side of the vehicle and remove that cover. Now we'll need to be able to pull the carpet away because we're going to access a grommet that's on the bottom side here. There are 3 in total of the little plastic retainer grommets that are all put into the carpet, and you can either use a flathead or in our case we're going to be using a trim removal tool. And then we'll just start with our first one, and you want to get under that and pry outwards, and we'll get the other 2 removed. Then we're going to reach between the plastic at the tailgate here and the carpet, and we'll just pull that carpet away first. Here at the edge you will have to lift up to get that edge to come out. We're just going to work that carpet out all the way down, and then you'll also move the foam padding here, so we're just going to kind of push that out of the way. With all that pushed out of the way, here you're going to see there's a rubber grommet. This is what it's going to look like from the top, and then we'll hop down to the bottom and I'll show you that as well. And this is the bottom of the grommet, looking at it underneath the vehicle. What we'll need to do is either drill out a hole, or you can cut through it with a just a razor or something of the sort to get through the coating. And then we'll also need to do the same at the top because we're going to be running our 4-pole wiring down through that and our power wire as well. Now we're going to take the 4-pole wiring and the provided power wire and get those pushed through the grommet going down towards the bottom of the vehicle. Now we're going to take that power wire and tuck that down beneath the plastics here and in between where that pad and the carpet's going to live, running all the way down to that passenger side plastics. And what we can do from here is get a rough idea, because we're going to have to mount a relay, and what I'm going to do is pull this bracket off, but we need to have enough wire going up to that relay. So I'm going to go right about there, and we'll go ahead and cut that. We'll just give ourselves a little extra so that way if we need it, we have it. We're going to run that in between the plastic and the carpet at first. That way we can go back and tuck that under and in between the plastic and carpet down here as well. Now we're going to remove the battery bracket. There's going to be one 10mm bolt right up front here, and then one at the very rear. pull this bracket out. Then we're going to take the relay, we're going to be mounting that here on the front of that bracket. So you just take the provided self-tappers and we'll go ahead and get that secured. And then we'll go ahead and put that bracket back where it was. Now we're going to take the positive lead that we've got coming up through the floor. We're going to strip back and into that. Then we're going to be putting on the smaller ring terminal provided in the kit. Then we'll crimp that eyelet onto the stripped end. And we're going to apply that to the silver post here. They are labeled battery and auxiliary. The battery side is going to be this post here that's copper plated, and that side will go to the battery. Our auxiliary silver post is going to be coming through the floor and giving power to our ETBC7. We'll slide that eyelet over and get the nut on. Now we are going to need to take the leftover wire we've got and make a section to go from that terminal over to our positive lead. I wanted to show how to take this cover off. That tab just gets pushed up and then you'll slide outwards. And once we've got a rough idea of how far we're going to need to go, we'll just get that cut and always give ourselves a little extra just in case. Strip back both of those ends. Now we're going to wait to make this last connection, but I wanted to show that lead that I made. Took the small eyelet, and that's going to be going to that positive battery on the relay here, and then the larger eyelet is going to be going to the positive lead straight off of the battery. So we'll hold off on that. Let's go down and get the 7-way hooked up down below first. So we're going to start by taking the bracket and feeding all of the plugs and wiring through, just so we can have that lined up. And you want to feed that 4-way back through so it's sitting outside of the bracket, and we'll have that just loosely hanging there. Now we'll take our lead coming from the battery, and we're going to be hooking that and crimping it to the connector given for the black wire on the ETBC7L harness. With our power hooked up, we're going to come over here to the 4-way. We're going to remove the cap and then use the pre-existing 4-way we've got from the vehicle and just get that plugged in here. And then you can wrap that in a good electrical tape wrap just to help keep that connection secure if need be. And we did end up needing a long bracket here. You can get that off the website to be able to mount the bracket that came with the ETBC7L here. And so I've just got that mounted up, and there's a clamp style that goes around the tube of the hitch, and that'll hold that bracket in place. Then I've just used some zip ties to secure the wiring, and as we had talked about, I put that electrical tape around that 4-pole connector. And then also there are 2 wires on that you will not need that have butt connectors on them unless you're hooking up reverse. So that's not something we need to worry about. And we also had a wire in there that goes to the brake controller. This particular neighbor is going to be using a Curt Echo, so we do not need to hook that up. And then for the grommet, I went ahead and put some RTV on both sides of that and just made sure I've got all my holes and gaps filled up to keep that area where we came through the bottom of the floor secured. And last but not least, down here we did have to hook up a ground, so I took a flathead, scraped back some of this undercoating here, and then used the provided self-tapper to attach that to the bottom of the vehicle. You will have to have that ground attached for the system to function. And last but not least, we've got that jumper lead going from the battery to our copper post here on the relay. And then I did take just a little bit of heat shrink on those ends and got that heat shrunk to those studs. It is a plastic cover that's going to be going back over that, but just to avoid any type of accidental connections, I've got those on there. Now we just need to test the system. And we'll just come back to the 7-way. You can either plug in your trailer. In our case, we're going to be using a tester, and if you'd like to pick one up, we have those on the website for sale as well. And we do have our 12-volt power, which is a good sign. So now we'll just run through the rest of the tests. We've got left turn, right turn, brakes, and then our clearance lights on and clearance lights off. And that's going to do for our look at and installation of the ETBC7L on our 2022 Toyota Sienna. My name's Ian with eTrailer. Appreciate you watching.